So here we go. We are working in our how to do it unit. That rhymed. How to do it unit. We just finished ergonomics. Now we are that you have been being trained about from the moment you stepped into health enrichment centers. So same with the content in this chapter. We start this at the very beginning. So this is going to feel like a review. And try to give you some guidance on self-evaluation, and because this is an ongoing sort of thing, as well as MBLEX content. So this one is chapter 9. Here is our unit 3, and we're in preparation for massage. Now, you would have been cued in your syllabus to look at these things earlier in the program. So this is just another example of the spiraling process, how the material is presented over and over and over. So the information in these chapters is going to be really reinforcing and not feel brand new. All right. Get rid of the table of contents. This one has videos for it that talk about the basic principles around draping. And so make sure you use those, as well as the YouTube channel, school YouTube channel, has tons and tons of information about this content. So first we're going to talk about equipment, and then the environment, and then how to talk to the first time client, and then how do you reinforce that as time goes on. This can also be part of how you would taking information from this content on how you would set up, maybe on the website, some information about the massage experience. And then the last part of it has to do with draping and positioning. Objectives, key terms, equipment. Of course, you are your equipment, so you want to take care of yourself. Here is information about massage tables. This should feel like a review for you at this point. Here's the portable table, the stationary table. This one has the electronic height adjustment, lift table, massage chair, and then advantages and disadvantages. This whole section is stuff that you at Health Enrichment Center have had. They will test equipment on the MBLEX, so this ends up being a nice review, because according to our syllabus, this is we're getting toward the 3/4 mark in the program. Now, other programs use these videos, so they might lay the chapters out a little differently. Here's a massage chair. I told you I have not, and I have not been aware of anybody that has really perfected long-term exclusive use of a massage chair and maintained good ergonomics and body mechanics. However, they are good for promotional activities. You also can get some equipment that the person sits in a regular chair and then it clips to a desk. That's easier to carry around. And it's also helpful to be able to adapt to a mat. Some of your Eastern and Asian systems are done more on the floor, on a mat. And they can also be, typically you'll see that over clothing. So they're using a lot of compression and rocking and shaking joint movement and not so much gliding and kneading. We're going to show you how to do that. There's in the next chapter, there is a sequence for you, and there's also video on that. So it's nice to be able to adapt to that. I worked on a mat when I was with the big lineman football players. They were all scrunched up on a table. So if I put them down on the floor on a mat, they would be able to relax. And I was then able to use my hands, my forearms, my lower leg, and my feet. I was be able to use all of those parts of my body to provide massage. Body supports are important. Bolstering is important. So here's an example of those, and we specifically teach you how to use the long bolster, square bolster in the massage application, especially for side lying. You look at any of the YouTube videos, you're going to see that, the use of that bolster. We have to make those. We haven't been able to, and I don't want to manufacture them, but we get twin bed size 6-inch firm mattress, foam mattress, and we cut it into shape. There are lots of different types of draping materials as well. You're taught primarily using sheets, but there are other approaches. And you're going to want to have a large towel. Towels are very helpful. It needs to be opaque, and it needs to be able to stand the laundering that is necessary for sanitation. So the twin sheet is the table protector. Some don't do that because they don't want the extra laundry. Two full or twin flat sheets. I like full, but I have worked with a lot of larger people, so it's nice to have that extra material. You don't want it to be so big, like a queen, where it's going to fall onto the floor or connect with the floor. A pillowcase, you can use a pillowcase for all kinds of stuff. A pillowcase can be cover a face cradle. Additional pillowcases around your body supports. A bath size towel is helpful. You can do a lot of different things with that. And then a flannel sheet or a light blanket or a beach size towel. Clients get cold. And then you can get a twin size electric blanket, and you can use it as a table warmer. And you can get a plastic or vinyl twin mattress cover and put that over there so that you're not having to launder that heating blanket after every massage. We also have to deal with lubricants. I am not a fan of oils. They become rancid. It's hard to get them out of the sheets. They're slippery on the bottoms of clients' feet. There are a lot of lotions and creams and gels that you can get from a supplier that I think are more sanitary. The hyperallergenic don't spoil. And you want to make sure that however you dispense that, whether you use a single, from a large container, you put the lubricant into a single use, or a squeeze bottle or something, so that you're not contaminating it for the next client. Music is very common. It's part of the ambiance. So it's very common in the massage environment. So proficiency exercise here leads you through experimentation to see what you like. And then we get into the massage environment. And there will be some questions about this content on the NBLEX exam. Um, the massage environment gives you an idea of what you would look for if you were going to be employed, what kind of rooms do they provide for you, or if you were going to rent a space. So these are the things you consider as the room temperature, ventilation, privacy, accessibility, especially accessibility to the restroom. Hopefully that's easily accessible, and a person isn't wandering too much around in the environment in slippers and a robe. Lighting, you want to have some indirect lighting. It's common. It is common to see essential oils used in the massage environment. Just you got to make sure that you're controlling the scent, because not everybody likes the same smells. So stay away from flowering plants. They can, some people who are really sensitive might have an allergic reaction. You, as a massage therapist, need excellent hygiene, or refrain from using chemicals, and certainly don't use any perfume, including essential oils on you or scented body care products. And make sure your hands are warm. And there are a lot of ways you can do that. We start out at our wellness spa with warm towel application, and secondary to that, that's warming the client's hands, or warming your hands before you touch the client. And when you are washing your hands and forearms prior to the massage, or your feet and legs, if you're modifying for that type of an application, using warm water is going to be a way of warming the hands. So this is we're going to talk a little bit about a setup, an environmental setup for the business of massage. So this is an ideal single owner, no receptionist, sole proprietor massage therapist. Is that you would have an entry either off of a hall or from the outside. You've got a small reception area here, and then the restroom. Make sure your restroom is handicapped accessible. It can be unisex, but it has to be handicap accessible. The access to the restroom is pretty easy here with that privacy wall. And it's right adjacent to the massage area. Your dimensions here are 12 by 20. And you could do it in a 12 by 16. I'll show you an example of that. But this works, this type of a setup works really well. So here's a smaller version of that, and an example with the restroom adjacent. That this is just so ideal, but many times the spaces you're going to rent, the restroom is going to be down the hall. And so you're going to have a strategy for getting the client to the restroom mid-massage if that is needed. And this shows using a room divider. There's some really nice room dividers that you can use to separate the intake area from the massage area. So with this being portable, you can move it so that you've got more room around the massage table. So this gives you more information about that. And then I've got a general clinic layout, and it is common for there to be smaller rooms. And you want to watch for that. Make sure you're not in a room that is so small that you're unable to get around the table efficiently. The reason why this happens is that a typical commercial space is 20 by 60. And to lay that out for maximum utilization, you're going to end up with some smaller than maybe ideal room space. However, you can accommodate by putting the table on an angle, and but if it's too small, then don't compromise yourself to work in a room that is too small. Also, massage can be provided in a home office. I've always had a home office. I still have a home office, and uh, you just got to take a look at how much traffic you're going to have through there. You want to make sure that your zoning is correct for that, so that you're not operating illegally. And there are downsizes too. Like, I have cats, and so if somebody's going to come and have a massage in the home office with pets, there's going to be pet hair and pet smells. And if I worked with kids, I had kids literally grow up under a massage table. So, you got to consider all the pros and cons when you're thinking about a home office. Some people will convert a garage. One of the best I've seen is a person had a home that had both a living room and a family room, and they remodeled just enough so that there was a half bath, and the people came in to the through the front door to the living room area, but it had been remodeled to look an awful lot like this first picture I showed you, or this one. And I just thought it was a really unique way of doing that. And it didn't disturb the area as much because they just moved all of the living room type activities into the family room. So they didn't have people wandering through the house. Okay, you can also do on-site massage in a public environment. There's usually this is a marketing strategy, advertising, getting the word out. Um, you're not doing full body massage. The people are clothed. You might have a massage chair here. And I've done a lot of on-site clients' residence or their office. The term kind of being used now is mobile massage. And so here's some recommendations here. And then kind of with the event idea, those events can often be outside, so that's always interesting. So this is a series of activities that you can do to try out some of this stuff. Now, these days, you can run an entire massage business on a smartphone. So that would replace a briefcase office, although you still might want to have access to paper forms and marketing material. Now, this section is important. And new edition, I see a typo. Oh, well, it happens. This S here shouldn't necessarily be capitalized, but it's not about perfection. It's about functional. And so there. So I pointed that out. Now you can't unsee it. So here is where we're actually going to talk about all of the nuancing around a new client. So here is there are a bunch of examples here that you want to read through. And there's going to actually be a script that gives you, you won't ever use it exactly, but it gives you a beginning point for having these first client interactions. So here so we're starting the script concepts here. So for example, with boundaries, here's an example. It says, it is my policy to reinforce with all new clients that massage therapy is not in any way a sexually oriented business. And then a little explanation of why that's a problem. So there are gender issues, and the massage people who use massage prefer, right, wrong, or indifferent, doesn't matter. They prefer females, and they prefer more mature females, so 30 and above. If you don't fall into that norm, then you're going to have to figure out strategies to overcome that. So an example here, a male therapist may greet a new client as follows. Hello, my name is, I know it may seem unusual, just call it out. However, just as is happening in nursing, more males are entering the massage community. Or somebody who is young, hello, a young massage therapist might greet a client and say, hello, my name is, I know I look young, but I'm fully qualified. And I want to assure you that my practice is professional and with a mature focus. We want part of the therapeutic relationship is feedback, and we want to make sure that we know how to provide feedback and elicit feedback with a client. Now, the mentoring tip here talks about when you're talking with a client, it needs to be massage related and relevant, because people don't like a chatty therapist. There are a few clients that like to chat, but you have to monitor and make sure that the focus is on them. They can chat about themselves, but you don't chat about yourself. I'm going to say that again. The client can chat about themselves, and you acknowledge enough so they know that you are paying attention. So the client can chat about themselves. You don't chat about yourself. So even if a client asks you a question, especially long-term clients, I mean, therapeutic relationship is a relationship. Your answers need to be short and succinct. Okay, you chatty people, you gotta figure that out. You want to make sure that the client gives you feedback that helps you alter the massage to achieve the outcomes, and is comfortable for them. So that's what this section talks about here. Some clients have difficulty giving feedback, and I don't have a good answer for that. You ask the question, and you've got to watch body language as well as anything they might tell you. At the same time, you don't ask every 5 minutes, is the pressure okay? You check in a couple of times. You learn to read the body language. If your pressure is too much and you're hurting them, they'll flinch or they'll guard. So, there's a happy medium between checking in with the client and being too invasive. So here's some examples of some questions that you might want to use to talk to clients. To get feedback from a client, if you give them the idea that they are a teacher for you, that you learn something every time you work with them, you might be able to get more feedback from them. And you have to be appreciative of feedback, regardless of how it may be delivered. Not everybody is an excellent communicator, right? So there might be some emotion around it, or it's difficult to give feedback. So it can feel conflicting, and you need to sort through the emotions and find the information, the process that is valuable for you to alter their massage next time, or in general improve your performance. Therapists need to give feedback too, but we need to do that in a way that it is valuable information. We need to communicate important information like a referral. And we need to always be bringing the information back to the purpose of the massage. And so here are some examples in that. This section here gets into a little bit more detail about client conversation. And this example is really good. So make sure you read through that. And then it's going to cue you to work, do a couple of these exercises yourself. You can be with fellow classmates, you can use your family members, you can use practice clients. Then we've got the very important pre and post massage procedures. See, this is all stuff that's happening and that we are aware of before the actual massage occurs. So here are our chapter objectives that we're working with, and we're setting up an orientation process for that new client. And then what we have set up, we need to reinforce with our regular clients. So here we're going to go through this section is going to go through an orientation process. Step by step. You want to practice this. You want to role play this. There it is. And then there are things that you do need to remind the client about. And then you need to step out of your own realm, and you need to be client-centered and focused on the client. So you need to, it's a role, you're playing a role. You need to put on your client-focused approach. And if you've been on the phone prior to the session or something and been pulled into your personal world, then you need to reestablish that professional world. All right. Once the massage is over, you want to have a finishing segment so that the client's cued that it's over. You want to give them just a couple of minutes to rest and get dressed. 5 minutes is typically what's built into that 50-minute massage, 60-minute therapeutic hour. You're going to want to teach the client how to get up off of the massage table, what you want them to do. Make sure up where there in some of the lists, it says show the client where to hang their clothing, and you'll find it on the chair. And make sure there aren't any tripping obstacles. Leave them to get redressed unless they need ongoing support. And so this should be consistent over and over and over with a regular client, so they are cued into, okay, now this is what I have to do next. Here are recommendations about helping a client actually up and off the table. Be very careful that you don't alter or hurt your own body while you're doing that. And this gives you some recommendations about that. And then closing the session. Now, if you're in an environment that has a receptionist, they'll actually, so you will close the session with the client as you leave the treatment area. And then the receptionist will take it from there in terms of collecting the fee and making the next appointment and all that. If you are self-employed, then you have to change roles. You change roles from the massage therapist to the business owner. And that's when you would take the fee and make the appointment and that sort of thing. Those are two different roles. It's helpful to have a repetitive pattern. You greet the client the same way, the massage room is set up the same way, the linens are the same, your uniform is the same, and the massage does enter into an altered state of consciousness. And so when you have a goodbye ritual, and that's the same, it triggers the person that they need to then leave. And sometimes clients will linger. This is a real problem in a home office because the setting is not conducive to a formal health environment. So you need to have it set up so that the client knows that they need to leave. All right. This next segment is the do it part in terms of positioning and draping. The figures are helpful. We'll be showing you all of this and reinforcing all of this. These concepts here, if you get asked a question on the MBLEX exam about draping, and you will, these are the principles that they're looking for. It gives you some examples of a couple of methods. And then you've got figures here as an example, not the only way, but as an example that follows these principles. This information also is portrayed, as I have said before, on videos on the Evolve site, as well as resource material on the school YouTube channel. And there you go. Make sure you're doing your multiple choice questions. Make sure you're knowing why the wrong answer is wrong. All right. So, the next chapter is massage and the massage approaches and massage methods. And again, in the Health Enrichment Center syllabus, this is towards the end of your program. And it gives you a chance to reflect, just like with the draping and the body mechanics. It gives you a chance to reflect on what you've learned and what you've been practicing. Your depth of understanding should be increasing. And then it also brings the material back forward in written form so you can recognize it on the MBLEX exam and or how you might include it in a charting and documentation process, or explain it to somebody else.